Hi, welcome back. This is the remediation for our probability calculations for Algebra 2. It's going to cover basic probability, but also conditional probability. So, you have to be careful when you're thinking about probability, whether your example of your events are independent or dependent. So, I'm going to let you kind of fiddle with coming up with two examples of which one's which, but the with replacement and without replacement is a big deal. So, with replacement means that you have two different events here. You're going to pull an algebra book, and then you're going to pull a statistics book, and you're going to multiply your probabilities together. But because it says with replacement, that means you put every book back in every time. So the probability of coming up with an algebra book, if I keep reading here, we got 7 algebra books out of, oh man, I can't add, that's 20. And then we put that algebra book back in, and then a stats book. So I come back and I say, oh, there's 5 stats books out of all of the 20 books that are in there. So you just multiply these together on your calculator, hit math, enter, enter. I don't have a calculator, so let's see, that's 7 over 80, I think it comes out to. If you wrote it as a decimal instead of a fraction, that works for me. So the next question, though, this is different. Now it says without replacement. So you're not going to put the item back into the bucket, or whatever, the drawer that we're pulling from. We have 15 pencils total, 9 have erasers, and 6 do not have erasers. So the probability of pulling a pencil with an eraser, and then taking it out, and then pulling another one without an eraser. Alright, so the first event, with an eraser. We have 9 that have erasers, so 9 out of the 15. But remember, we took one of the pencils out that has an eraser from the drawer. So the next time we go in, the probability that you pull a pencil that does not have an eraser would be 6, but it's only out of 14. Okay, you got to be careful there. It's only out of 14 because you took one of those pencils out. So here, again, I don't have a calculator, so I'm going to have to do a little mental math here. Let's see, that's 3 out of 5 times 3 out of 7, which is 9 out of 35. Of course, you would just crank that in your calculator and hit math, enter, enter to bring it back to a fraction. Now this next time, both with erasers, that means the first time you pull a pencil with an eraser, that's a 9 out of 15 chance, but again, it's without replacement. So this time, there's only 8 that have erasers, and there's only 14 total, right? So I'm not going to suffer through doing the mental math here, guys. I want you guys to type that in your calculator. Let's take a look at number 8, the contingency table. That's a big one, right? The difference between and, or, and given. So when it says and, you literally have to think about your denominators every time. And I think that would be a good way for people to kind of start this set of questions. When it's and or when it's or, your denominator is going to start out of the entire total, okay? You're going to use this denominator of 128. However, when I put a condition on your probability, if I say given male, that means your denominator is only out of the total possible males. So you can only use 68 as a denominator here. I think that if everybody started this question by just picking the right denominator, I think we'd have a lot less trouble. Okay, so underweight and female. So underweight and female would be this number. These ladies are underweight and female. So that would be 25 out of 28, and of course you can try hitting math enter on your calculator, see if it reduces, but I don't think that one does. Now male or overweight, this is what I do. I take the total number of males, so all of the males would be 68. And then I take all of the overweight people, which is 66. But because you counted all of the males and you counted all of the overweights, you counted these guys twice. So I'm going to have to subtract that one time. And I should be able to do this in my head, huh? Alright, let's see, that's 2189, I think. I don't feel comfortable. I'm going to check that on my phone calculator. Yep, math teacher, can't add. Oh, it is 89. Go me. Alright. So that's how I do the union or the or questions. I look for the overlap and I subtract it because I did count that 45 twice. For the given male question, so now you're only allowed to look at the data from the males part of the chart. So you're only allowed to look right here. So out of that data, what's the probability that someone is overweight? That would be 45 out of the 68. And again, try math adder every time. Make sure it doesn't reduce. Of course, I'll take decimal answers, but fractions are cleaner. So, all right. Hopefully, that gave you a big boost in your knowledge, and you know how to do these for the next test. I would say probability is difficult, but this contingency table one in particular, this is the one that most kids have the most trouble on. Make sure that you're very familiar with that because it is also on your post test. All right. Good luck.